New here at 6:30. It is an epidemic now in the local and national spotlight. Heroin is frankly flooding our streets. Chris has answers tonight on where it's coming from. Chris?
Well, 24 states have some form of legalized marijuana, which means that Mexican drug cartels are losing their grip on our marijuana market. Well, tonight, we expose how cartels are changing the way they do business and even changing heroin to get more people addicted.
It's a vicious cycle. I'm full of shame and guilt, and I can't stop it because of the things that I have to do to stay high, and I can't cover up that feeling unless I get high. So you just keep going back and forth.
An addiction that destroys. Mike sat down with me near the ASU campus, the college he got into on academic and athletic scholarships, the school he had to leave because of his heroin addiction.
By the time you get to Penn, and it's too late to be able to stop on your own.
His path to heroin use, disturbingly common. Like 3 out of 4 heroin users, it started with prescription pain pills. Mike says pills helped him after a sports injury until his addiction got out of control.
The amount that I was spending was getting ridiculous. You know, we're talking $75, $100, $125 a day.
That's when the person supplying him with pills offered him heroin instead.
How much did I go use? You probably did about $5 worth right there. And then this thing goes on my brain. I'm like, this is the answer.
Opioid pain pills like Vicodin and OxyContin are the same drug as heroin, just in a different form. And Mexican drug cartels are capitalizing on America's addiction. A federal report warns Mexican traffickers are making a concerted effort to increase heroin availability in the U.S. market.
The cartels, they're businessmen. They know where the dollars are.
DPS Director Frank Milstead says changes are clear by the soaring amount of heroin on the streets.
They have basically quadrupled the crop and changed from marijuana to poppies.
Poppies provide the morphine base of heroin. Mexico never had a reputation as a major poppy producer, but the federal government estimates poppy production has now exploded to tens of thousands of acres.
Here in Mexico, farmers are changing what they're growing. They can make more money selling poppies to the cartel than growing just about any other crop.
And it's not just more heroin being smuggled over the border. It's more appealing heroin.
Now the Mexicans are making what they call Mexican white, which is, again, very powerful, very potent, and kind of a sexier way, if you will, to do heroin, because you can snort it, you can smoke it, you can just put it in your mouth.
On this table, all heroin, black tar, brown, tan, white powder. The lighter the color, the more pure the drug. Experts say white powder can be pure enough to resemble powdered sugar. Dangerous because of its appeal and strength. The Nogales port of entry. We went to see firsthand the increasing battle to prevent drugs from crossing the border as cartels change the drug trade.
Have you seen an increase in white powder heroin?
There has been, and you're absolutely right. You know, back in the day, the heroin that you did get was the brown heroin that's manufactured in Mexico. Today, it seems like we're seeing more of the white heroin.
Port Director Guadalupe Ramirez has worked border security for 30 years. A couple years ago, finding a few ounces of heroin was considered significant. Times changed quickly.
And we'll take out 30, 40 pounds of heroin. And that is just unusual. I mean, it's amazing.
Marijuana is still the main drug agents find, but with heroin seizures soaring, stakes are high.
Is this your vehicle, sir?
Just on a personal note, what does it mean to you when you start seeing more heroin coming over the border?
Well, it really concerns, you know, anybody in a uniform. You know, when you look at the impact that it has on American families and how it can devastate a family. You know, the first time a child tries it, they could lose their life.
There were many times where I was getting ready to get high and I had my drugs and my substance and I'm just crying and crying and crying because I know I don't want to do this, but I know I can't stop myself from doing this.
And that is the grip that heroin gets on people. Mike could not kick the addiction on his own. He even ended up attempting suicide. But after getting medical help, Mike has not used heroin in more than a year. And we have resources to fight drug addiction on our website. And Mike even shares more insights on how and why people turn to heroin. Plus, I will Facebook Live after this newscast to answer